I got the love of our country from my grandmother. She instilled in me the American values and explained how great it was, and she knew how great America was because she was an immigrant. She explained that in the old country, it didn't matter how hard you worked. It didn't matter if you worked a second or third job because the government took everything extra away from you because the government wanted everybody to have the same. Now, listening to her, she sounds like maybe she was from the Soviet Union or an Eastern Bloc country. Actually, she was from Denmark. And unfortunately, we're moving more towards Denmark every day. It was my grandmother's vision of liberty and the basic principles of the Libertarian Party that bring me here today. Everywhere I go, people tell me their stories. And you know what I hear? The old way just isn't working. As your president, I will get government out of the way so my grandmother's vision of the American dream can be a reality for all of us. Last night, in the first presidential debate, Americans got to hear from only two of the candidates who will be on the ballot this November, even though there's a third person who's on the ballot in all 50 states. I'm here to present not just a different vision, but a better vision of what America can and should be, the vision of freedom that drew my grandmother to our great country. When I first joined the Libertarian Party movement 40 years ago, I would explain to people that, the Libertarian Party takes the best of the right and the left. We take the economic freedoms from the people on the right, and we take the social liberties, the social freedoms from the people on the left. But I can't say that anymore because I don't even hear about economic freedoms from the people on the right, and we certainly didn't hear any last night, and we haven't seen that in the last 4 years. We didn't hear any good plans in the debate last night when it came to health care, despite having over 4 years to come up with a plan and repeatedly promising to do so. President Trump has no explanation of how he would replace Obamacare. Meanwhile, Vice President Biden is planning to double down on that program, which has failed so many. I say it's time for a new way. As I see it, the problem with our health care is that our insurance isn't actually insurance at all. In any other industry, insurance only pays for unexpected costs, and because of that, costs remain relatively low. Meanwhile, our healthcare insurance system pays for everything. Just think of how expensive your car insurance would be if it paid for gas, oil changes, or car washes. First of all, you would have absolutely no reason to shop around for the best gas prices because you'd simply take out your little $5 copay card. In fact, you may even go to the nicest gas station where they give you free coffee while you wait. And of course, the gas stations would have no reason to compete with each other because they could raise prices without you even knowing it. Why? They would simply raise them to the insurance company, and the insurance company would simply increase your premiums next year. This is exactly what's happened to the healthcare system. There's no reason for patients to shop around for better prices, and so consequently, there's no reason for healthcare providers to compete on price. Meanwhile, insurance companies keep increasing prices without any accountability at all, and we're the ones left footing the bill. We have two examples we can draw from where something similar to a free market system works, both in Singapore and the state of Indiana. In both systems, people pay for healthcare out of their own pockets of everyday costs, and they leave the catastrophic care only to the healthcare insurance. I remember Donald Trump saying decades ago that when it came to getting woman rink done, what he did was he went and looked to see where they had done it successfully. So he went to the Canadians and asked them, hey, how do you get a skating rink done? And he got it done. So why doesn't he do the same thing for health insurance? All we have to do is look to Singapore and see a successful system. So why doesn't he go there and follow their system? And by the way, they use insurance for catastrophic costs only. Their costs are only a third of what they are here, and doctor visits only cost $10 each, which is less than our copay. And by the way, the state of Indiana has a similar system. We've got an example out there. Why doesn't Donald Trump use it? If I were president, I would go with what works. I would go with success and recreate it for our country. When it comes to COVID-19, again, neither candidate was able to articulate a real policy. President Trump's FDA has stood in the way of expanding testing. South Korea confirmed its first coronavirus case within a day of our first case and quickly jumped ahead in testing, containing the spread without a lockdown. Meanwhile, the first company to create tests in the U.S. that could be conducted outside of hospitals was stopped when the FDA said they needed, quote unquote, further assessment. When I am your president, I will get rid of the efficacy requirement of the FDA, if not the FDA entirely. On the other hand, Vice President Biden's solution is to institute national mandates. In a pandemic like this, it is best for communities and families, not the federal government, to be making decisions on their health. Both the Democrats and the Republicans send the message that if the government doesn't do it, then it won't get done. That's why they're telling us that we need to wear masks. However, Walmart and other stores have proven them wrong. Walmart came out and said if anybody comes to our store, they need to wear a mask, and other stores followed suit. Rather than having a one-size-fits-all from the government like Biden and Trump want, how about having each person decide every day, each day allow us to vote with our feet or vote with our dollars? If we want to wear a mask, we go to the stores that have masks, such as Walmart and the other stores. If we don't want to wear a mask, let us vote with our feet, vote with our dollars for the other stores. On the economy, both candidates offered more of the same. It is individuals in the private sector working together, innovating and creating, who create booming economies. Government needs to just get out of the way. In fact, the same money in private hands creates twice as many jobs as in the government hands. The president did, however, make an important point about the tax code. He pointed out that the tax system is so complicated that only the wealthy and connected, such as himself, can navigate the codes with fancy tax accountants. Vice President Biden's solution is simply to raise taxes, which will ultimately be paid by hardworking American families. I propose something different. I will eliminate the IRS and work with Congress towards eliminating the federal income tax altogether. I want every American to pay as little in taxes as President Trump did. Vice President Biden, meanwhile, attempted to promote economic protectionism through tariffs and invoking the mantra of Buy American. Unfortunately, this is following in the footsteps of President Trump. I'm so sad to be the only free trade candidate in this election, but I am very proud to be a free trade candidate. Trade boosts the prosperity of both the United States and our world neighbors. Because of specialization across nations, countries exchange not just final products, but intermediate products that create goods. The expansion of trade over the last 70 years has resulted in an average of $18,000 towards each American family, benefiting those who are the poorest the best. As president, I will dismantle all tariffs and any other trade barriers which prevent the flow of goods and services in and out of the country. Americans deserve the best, and it doesn't matter where the best may come. On the issue of climate change, Vice President Biden meanwhile proposed a top-down government mandate, including a stop to new coal or oil factories. I propose something different to address this important issue. I will work with Congress to end all energy subsidies and level the playing field. Additionally, we must reduce barriers which entrench existing sources, such as fossil fuels, to prevent competition and innovation, which can help create cleaner energy. The most promising form of energy is nuclear, with a carbon footprint vastly outmatched by its efficiency. Ironically, the candidates were also asked to comment on the integrity of this election. In any other country, we view with disdain the censoring of political opponents, but it has become accepted practice here. Why was I denied the opportunity to speak to millions of Americans? I think I know why. Because I would give the only choice, the only alternative to big government. I see America through my grandmother's eyes, a place where the rights of the individual are greater than the power of government, a place where liberty means minimum government and maximum freedom, a place where the American dream isn't a dream at all, it's real and it's right there in front of you because you made it happen. Thank you.